Aloha and welcome to Breath and Flow Yoga. My name is Katie and this right here is Bradley. And today we'll be working on our balancing breath, also called Nadi Shodhana. And we'll also be doing a balancing flow to match right after. So for class today, all you need is a mat. If you like to practice with blocks or any other props, feel free to grab those as well. We're going to begin in an easy seated position like I am here. So if you need any kind of blanket or pillow to make yourself more comfortable while we sit and breathe, go ahead and grab that now for your space. So let's get started. Go ahead and come into an easy seated position. So that can be cross legs, that can be half lotus, that can be full lotus, or even just sitting in a chair or on your heels. Whatever is comfortable. We're going to align the spine first. So let's close our eyes together. Let your palms face down on your thighs. Feel your hips and your sits bones press down in towards your mat. Feel your low belly pull up and in with a slight tuck of your tailbone. Feel that motion pull the spine back and let yourself grow tall through the spine. Peel your shoulders back, so actually exaggerate that opening of the shoulders down and away from the ears. If it helps to take a few shoulder circles or shrugs, do that here to make sure that you're really opening the chest, priming the lungs for our breath work. Let your chin come parallel with the mat, allowing the throat to open slightly. Relax through the face and the jaw. And just feel a lightness through the crown of the head. Feel yourself grow tall and lengthen here. With your eyes closed, just notice how the body feels in this moment. So bring your internal awareness to the physical self. Maybe even take a mental scan of the body and notice where it is at in this moment. And as you delve deeper, notice where the mind is at. So if you feel like the mind is distracted, as it normally does, just begin to bring your focus and your attention inward and on this present moment. So let's begin to focus on the breath. That'll help us clear away all of that excess chit-chat in the brain. Start with a deep inhale in through your nose and out through your mouth. 2 more times like that. Deep breath in through the nose. Fill your belly. One more time. Inhale in through the nose. Let that breath completely go. Now let's just breathe in and out through the nose and the nose only, creating a pattern of breath deep into the belly and out through that nose. Good. Take about 2 to 3 more rounds in and out through the nose, creating more length through your breath. Listen to the sound and quality of your breathing, creating longer inhales. And match your exhales. Good. One more like that. And exhale out. Now we will begin our Nadi Shodhana alternate nostril breathing, also known as a balancing breath. You can flutter your eyelids open and watch my demonstration if you need. I like to take my pointer finger and place it right between my eyebrows. I take my thumb and close my right nostril. Inhale in through your left nostril. Close your left nostril. Exhale out your right. Inhale in through your right nostril. Close your right. Exhale out the left. Inhale left. Close, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale out the left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Close your eyes. Inhale right. Exhale left. Lengthen your breath. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Good. Inhale left. Exhale right. Stay with it. Inhale right. Exhale left. Imagine that breath drawing up through the left nostril, all the way to that point between your eyebrows, and flowing out through the right nostril. Deep breath in. Exhale, opposite side. Take another round. Inhale left. Exhale right. Last side. Inhale right. And exhale left. Release your hand back down onto your thigh. Keep your eyes closed and come back to equally breathing in through both nostrils into the belly. Creating your ujjayi breathing, your victorious breath, or just simply that sound that you create in the back of your throat with every inhale and every exhale. As you are focusing on your breath and the mind is quieted down, now is a wonderful time to set an intention for your practice that you can even carry out with you for the rest of your day or evening. And let that intention be a dedication to someone or something. Maybe it's other than yourself, or maybe it is why you are here on the mat today. Whatever it is, let yourself focus on that one thing, that one intention. And let's begin to move with our breath. So inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, flutter your eyelids open, look up between the fingertips. And as you exhale, begin to reach forward. Extend your arms out long in front of you, folding forward. So your hips will press back as your palms relax in towards the earth. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to crawl your hands over to the right. So you're just stretching through that left side waist. Relax your head and neck. Inhale back through center. Crawl those hands forward. And then exhale over to the left. Press your right hip down. Drop your right shoulder down so you can feel that right side waist elongate. Inhale, come back through center and begin to crawl your hands up back towards your legs. Walk your hands behind your hips and just switch the direction of your legs if you're in a cross-legged position. So you'll take your opposite leg over the top. And then inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and bow forward. Reach those arms out in front of you. Relax your head and neck. Take a full round of breath here. Feel the low back elongate down towards the earth. And then as you take your next inhale, begin to crawl those hands over to the right. Let yourself fold in towards that right side. Drop your left shoulder down. Relax your head and neck. Press those hips into the earth. Inhale back through center. Walk those hands through the middle. Exhale, release. Good. Let's inhale over to the left. Walk those hands all the way over. Relax that right shoulder down. Press your right hip back down towards the earth. Relax your head and neck. Inhale back through center. Reach your arms forward. Relax in. Now as you take your next inhale, shift forward. We're going to come into tabletop pose. So uncross your legs. You can remove your pillow or your blanket that you use to support yourself if you had one. And we'll all meet in tabletop. So our shoulders will be right over our wrists, hips over our knees. Gaze down between your thumbs. Let's begin our cat-cow breathing. Inhale, cow pose. Let your shoulders draw down your back, tailbone to the sky, look up high. And as you exhale, curl back up and in, tuck your chin, arch like a Halloween cat. Inhale, shoulders back, tailbone high, look up. Exhale, curl back up and in, cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Move with your breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Now if you want to add any other movements in here, maybe you sway side to side, circle through your hips, head and neck. Or maybe even turn your fingers towards your knees and get a nice forearm and wrist stretch. Feel free to find a little bit of freedom of movement here just to get any of those little creaks out, warm up through the vertebrae, warm through the spine, the toes, the joints, the head and neck. Take about 2 breaths here just to find some freedom of movement, little twists. And then we'll come back through center, back into our tabletop position. I'm gonna move Bradley's tail before he flips out at me. Good, so let's gaze down between our thumbs. Take an inhale in, neutral spine, exhale out. On your next inhale, extend your left leg long behind you, flex your left foot. So let's look down and back at our toes behind us. Turn your left toes down towards the mat so that you're squaring your hips down towards the earth. Now bring your gaze back down between your thumbs. You can stay right here, just finding length through that back heel, but if you want more, you can inhale, extend your right arm forward. Your right hand is in a handshake position. Shoulder draws down your back. Extend through your fingertips and back through that left heel. Create length. Pull your lower belly up and in. Engage. Good. Feel the belly engage. And now listen closely. Take an option here and take your right arm out to the right and your left leg out to the left. I'm just going to bend my left knee out, but you can extend it long as well depending on your space. Really ground into that left hand and right knee. Pull your lower belly in, reach. Good, and then inhale, come back through center. Extend your left leg back behind you, right arm forward. And lower hand and knee down. Pause through the middle, just find a nice neutral spine here. Gaze down between your thumbs. Same thing, opposite side. Inhale, extend your right leg straight back behind you. Now let's take that gaze back and down. Look at your right big toe. Point it straight down towards your mat so you're internally rotating that right hip down. Press your right heel back. Find engagement through your core and that right leg. So you can choose to stay right here. Maybe you inhale, extend your left arm forward. Find a nice counter balance through the arms and through the legs. Ground into your right hand and left knee. Find an opposition here. So you're pulling back through that right heel as much as you're reaching forward through the left fingertips. Create strength through the spine. Now listen closely. If you took this option on the other side, take your left arm out to the left and your right leg out to the right. You can also keep that right knee bent depending on your space provided. Ground into that right hand and left knee. Pull up and in through your core. Find strength and lift. Good, let's inhale back through center. Left arm forward, right leg back. Engage the core. And lower hand and knee down back into your tabletop pose. Take a full breath in here. And a full breath out. Tuck your toes behind you. Press your hips back towards your heels. Just stretch through the feet. Gaze down at your hands. Spread your fingers wide like starfish on the mat. And then as you press your hips back towards your heels, begin to lift your knees up off the mat into a crouch-like position. Take an inhale in. As you exhale, press your hips high to the sky for downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Begin to pedal your feet side to side. Shake your head out, yes and no. Take whatever variations you need here to just work into your downward dog. Once you settle into your downward dog, hands are shoulders width, feet are hips width. That's about 6 to 8 inches, feet apart. And you can always take a look at your hands and see that they're right straight out in front of those shoulders. Take a big breath in, feel your hips rise high. And then as you exhale, let's begin to tiptoe those feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Take your feet between your wrists. Soften your knees. Grab a hold of opposite elbows, ragdoll arms. Relax your head and neck in that window that you've created with the arms. Get a nice space and length through the spine. Relax through your head and your neck. Maybe even shake it out, yes and no. Maybe a sway side to side feels good this morning or afternoon. Feel the weight shift from side to side in your feet, maybe front and back through the toes, back and towards your heels. Playing with that weight through the legs. Begin to feel your spine decompress for another round of breath here. Good. Now release those hands down to the earth. Take an inhale. Let's lengthen halfway up, lift. Fingertips can graze your shins or even down on your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Forehead towards your shins. Relax your head and neck. Now with a flat spine, inhale. We're going to rise all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up to the sky, extend, reach high. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, drop your head back, baby back bend. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and bow forward all the way down to your toes. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Now as you exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back into high plank pose. Pause here, take an inhale in. Engage through your core. Wrists are right underneath your shoulders, heels press back. Engage through your core. Take an inhale again. Now as you exhale, lower your knees down towards your mat. Walk your hands forward. Melt your heart down towards the earth. Anahatanasana, puppy dog pose. Gaze forward, shoulders relax down your back. Heart melts to the earth. A deep shoulder opener here. Now as you inhale, shift onto your forearms. Tuck your toes behind you. Lift your knees, forearm plank. So keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Gaze down between your forearms. Pull up and in through your low belly. Deep breath here. Now as you exhale, begin to drop your hips down. Inhale, lift through your heart, Sphinx pose. Create traction through your forearms. Lower down, exhale. Hands come right underneath the shoulders. Inhale, cobra pose, elbows point back, heart presses forward. Palms ground. Tuck your toes, exhale, hips to heels. Downward facing dog. Full breath in and full breath out. Bend your knees, look forward, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift fingertips to the shins or the mat. Exhale, forward fold, relax your head and neck. Inhale, rise to standing, reach your arms up and overhead, extend. Exhale, bend your elbows, drop your head back, lift through your heart. Inhale, arms high to the sky. Exhale, hinge, swan dive forward, fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, knees lower, hands forward. Anahatanasana, puppy dog pose, gaze forward. Inhale. Shift forward onto your forearms, tuck your toes, lift your knees, forearm plank. Exhale, lower your hips, pull your heart through. Inhale into Sphinx. Lower your chest, hands right under the shoulders. Inhale in, cobra pose. Keep those elbows bent and pointing back. Tuck your toes, exhale, hips back to the heels. And to the sky, downward facing dog. Full breath in and full breath out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or even hop all the way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time, take your feet together, bend your knees deeply. Inhale for chair pose. Biceps pull back by your ears. Sit low into your hips. Pull your knees back so you can see all 10 toes down underneath you. Now, if this is ever too intense on the low back, feet can come hips width distance. This is also appropriate if you are expecting. Good, so either option, knees are pulling back. Weight is in your heels. Slight tuck of your tailbone. Now get low and squeeze through those inner thighs. Big breath in. Now listen, as you exhale, reach those arms back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Engage your triceps. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, extend back, squeeze. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, reach back and squeeze. Good, last one, just reach up high. Now as you exhale, hands to the earth, hips high, fold in, relax your head and neck down. Inhale, lengthen just halfway up, lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose, inhale. Exhale, knees to your mat, puppy dog pose, walk those hands forward, lower your heart. Inhale. Shift forward onto your forearms, tuck your toes behind you, lift your knees, forearm plank. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, pull the heart forward, Sphinx pose. Lower your heart down, hands right under your shoulders. Big breath in, cobra pose. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips to heels, downward dog. Beautiful, full round of breath here. And on your next inhale, three-legged dog, right leg, reach it up high to the sky. Keep your right leg straight back. So to make sure that that right hip is squared off with the left, take a look at your right big toes. Turn your right toes down so there's an inner spiral of your right femur bone. Reach your right leg high, keep those hips square, big breath in. Now as you exhale, hug your right knee toward your chest. Place your right foot to the top of your mat. Lower your back knee down softly. Ground through your right foot. Inhale into a low lunge. Reach your arms up high. Good. Exhale, release your arms by your sides like wings. Lift through your heart. Inhale, reach your arms back up high. Tuck your back toes. Listen closely. Lift your back knee up off your mat. Coming into high lunge, crescent pose. Square your hips forward. Relax through those shoulders. Now as you inhale, hinge forward. Reach out in front of you. Hover over your right thigh. Gaze down in front of your toes. Let's take our hands to heart center as we extend through the crown of our head. Ground into your right foot. Now we're going to inhale, shift forward onto that right foot and lift the left foot up off the mat for a modified warrior 3. Your right knee can be softly bent. Engage your left foot, point those toes straight down to the mat. Big breath in. Exhale, take your hands down to the mat. Lift your left leg slightly higher. Fold towards your right leg. And slowly take that left foot all the way to the back of your mat. Inhale your right leg back up to the sky. Reach it high. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Next, inhale in, extend your left leg high to the sky. Again, keep those hips square. Point your left toes down towards the earth so your inner spiral of that left femur bone turns your hip down in line with your right. Now as you inhale, extend that left leg high. Exhale, hug your left knee towards your chest. Place your left foot to the top of your mat. Lower your right knee gently down. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky for a low lunge. Square those hips forward. Tuck in through your low belly. As you exhale, open your arms like wings. Let your shoulders drop down your back. Maybe even look up to the sky. Inhale, reach your arms high. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee, ground down to rise up into a high lunge. Nice work. Square your shoulders out. Look forward. Inhale in. And as you exhale, extend those arms forward. Ground into that left foot. Let's take our hands to heart center. Shoulders draw down and away. Really extend your energy forward. Ground into that left foot. Shift forward. Gently pick that right leg up off the mat. Flex your right foot for a modified warrior 3. Good. Square your hips, square your shoulders. Press back through that right heel. Deep breath in. Good. As you exhale, take those hands down to the earth. Right leg lifts up just a little bit higher. Relax your head and neck. Exhale, place your right foot all the way to the back of your mat. Left leg, reach it all the way up to the sky, reach it high. And exhale, release that left foot down. Good, deep breath in. And exhale it out. Bend your knees, look forward, step, or even hop up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Take your feet together, bend your knees, inhale, chair pose, reach your arms up high. Good, now as you exhale, let's take our hands to heart center. Inhale, lift your left knee up towards your chest. And just pause here, so both knees are bent. It's kind of like a ninja pose here. So keep that right knee bent, lift that left knee towards your chest, and lower your left foot down. Let's switch sides. Hug your right knee up and in, ground through that left foot. So both knees are bent, pull in through your low belly, shoulders back. Good. Exhale, release the right foot down. Let's inhale our arms high, keep the knees bent. Exhale, hands to the earth, hips high, fold in. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, plant the palms, step the feet back, high plank pose. Inhale in. Exhale, knees to the mat. Walk your hands forward, puppy dog pose, gaze forward. Inhale, shift onto your forearms, tuck your toes, forearm plank, hips in line with the shoulders, engage the core. Exhale, lower your hips. Inhale, Sphinx pose, lift your heart. Exhale, lower your chest, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, Cobra pose, squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips to heels. Lift your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. So let's flow. Inhale, right leg high, keep your hips square. Exhale, hug your knee towards your chest. Place your right foot to the top of your mat. Keep your back knee lifted. Inhale, crescent pose, high lunge. Good. Exhale, hinge forward, hover over your right thigh. If you can, keep your arms reaching out long in front of you. Inhale, shift forward onto your right foot. Pick your back foot up off the mat. Warrior three, square those hips out, engage your glutes, and ground through that right foot. Lower your hands down towards the earth, left leg to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, left foot sends all the way back. Right foot follows all the way up to the sky through downward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good, let's inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, hug your left knee towards your chest. Place your left foot to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise, crescent pose. Exhale, hinge forward, hover over your left thigh. Try to keep your arms reaching out long. Inhale, shift the weight into that left foot. Pick your right foot up off the mat. Warrior three, flex your right foot. Exhale, those hands to the earth. Inhale, the right leg high, relax your head and neck. Step your right foot all the way back. Left foot follows, big breath in, that left leg flies to the sky. And exhale, downward facing dog. Full round of breath. Exhale it out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or even hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Feet together, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms high to the sky. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. Good, now inhale, ground through that right foot. Left knee hugs up and in towards your chest. So you can stay here in this variation, just kind of pulling your belly in, or you can begin to take your left ankle to the top of your right thigh. Flex your left foot a lot. Bend your right knee even more and sit down low. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. Coming into a standing figure four. Stay right here, lower those hips, ground into that right heel, deep breath. Exhale, stay. Inhale, left knee comes back up towards your chest. Lower your left foot down. Inhale, just your arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart. We're gonna switch sides. Right knee up towards your chest. Again, you can stay right here. Exhale, maybe right ankle to the top of your left thigh. Take your right knee down, flex your right foot, sink your hips low. Keep your heart pressing forward. So there's a tiny back bend in this pose, shoulders peeling back as you sit low. Feel a nice stretch through that outer right hip. Stay with it. Now inhale, right knee towards your chest. Lower your right foot down. Inhale, just your arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to the earth, hips high, fold in, let it go. Nice job, yogis. Inhale, lengthen halfway up, lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step your feet back, high plank pose. Inhale in. Exhale, take your knees down, walk your hands forward, puppy dog pose. Inhale onto your forearms, tuck your toes, lift your hips, forearm plank. Exhale, lower your hips. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Exhale, lower your heart, hands right under your shoulders. Inhale, Cobra pose. Exhale, tuck those toes, hips to heels. Lift your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Full round of breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. Now as you inhale, let's shift forward into high plank. Take your left knee down to the mat. Right foot in a straight line behind the left toes. Left hand right underneath the left shoulder, right arm to the sky. So starting here in a modified plank pose, you can stay right here with that left knee down. If you would like to come into a traditional side plank, left hand is right underneath the shoulder, stack your feet, lift your hips, right arm up to the sky, stack your shoulders, pull your lower belly in. Feel your hips lift high, maybe even look to your right thumb all the way up to the sky. Big breath here, stay with it, engage your core. Now as you exhale, take your right hand to the mat. If you are modifying, right knee lowers, left foot straight line behind the right foot. If you're coming into full side plank, feet will stack on the opposite side, lift your hips high, stack your shoulders. Engage your core, maybe even look up to that left thumb. Stay with it, big breath in. Now as you exhale, let's both take our hands down to the earth. Come into plank pose. Take an inhale in. And as you exhale, we're gonna lower slowly, chaturanga. So elbows pull in all the way down to the earth. Good. As you inhale, begin to lift your heart into a baby cobra. And exhale, lower down. Good. So reach your arms by your sides, palms face up. As you inhale, roll your shoulders back, engage your spine. Begin to lift your heart as you reach back. And if this feels good, you can lift your legs. Keep your feet hips width distance. Take a big breath in, reach back. Good, lift those legs, lift through the heart, squeeze through your shoulder blades, stay with it, big breath in. And exhale, let's take our hands down to the earth for crocodile pose. Forehead comes to the back of your hands. Gently shimmy your hips side to side. Release your low back. Good, let's come into one more back bend here. So lift your heart, Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. As you inhale, same thing. You're gonna reach back. Open your chest forward. Keep your gaze just slightly down in front of your mat, just so you're not cranking your neck. And you can stay right here. If you want more, you can begin to lift your legs, coming into a deeper back bend, engaging through your spine. Big breath in, lift, reach. Exhale, release it down. Take your hands, palms face down, forehead to the backs of your hands. You can bend your knees and just windshield wipe the legs side to side. Let it go. Good. Let's take our hands under our shoulders, tuck your toes, press your hips back towards your heels. And we're gonna pause here in a child's pose. So you should feel a deep stretch in your low back as your hips press towards your heels. Forehead might rest on the earth, shoulders relax. One more full breath here. Feel those hips sink low. And then inhale, shift forward. Come into your tabletop. Tuck your toes, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Take a full round of breath. And exhale it out. Inhale your right leg high to the sky. Exhale, hug your right knee towards your chest. Place your right foot to the top of your mat. Keep your back knee lifted. Take your left hand down to the earth. Right arm up to the sky, twist. Roll your right shoulder back. Pull your right knee towards your chest. So this should feel nice in the low spine and through that right outer hip. Big breath in, open that right shoulder back. And then exhale, take both hands to the earth. Heel toe your right foot out to the right. Turn your right toes out. Keep your back knee lifted. Hands right underneath your shoulders. So this is an active lizard pose. The other one that we usually do is a lazy lizard. So keep that back knee lifted. Shoulders back, expand your heart forward. Engage through that left leg. If you want more here, you can come onto your forearms, but only if you want to get deeper in that hip. You can even come down a little bit lower onto some blocks, like so, if this is appropriate for your practice. Stay with this for one more breath in. Good, and then release that back knee down. Heel toe your right foot to the center of your mat. Shift into a low lunge, square your hips out. Now shift those hips back, flex your right foot. Square your hips out. Take an inhale, lengthen halfway up. So you might be right here with blocks on either side of your shin, just lengthening your heart forward. Maybe you bend your elbows and get lower in towards the leg. Maybe you're reaching all the way forward, folding in. And of course, if you do have blocks, you can also take them lengthwise for even more stability. Let's stay here for another round of breath. Good, now as you take your next inhale, just lift up, lengthen. Keep your left hand down. Right arm, reach it up to the sky, roll your right shoulder back, twist to the right. Drop that right hip down. So you should feel a nice stretch through the IT band and the piriformis on that right side. Maybe even look up to that right thumb. One more breath. Exhale, take your right hand down to the earth. Shift forward. Heel toe your right foot all the way over to meet your left wrist. Let your right knee lower down to your right wrist. Set up for pigeon pose. So you can always come onto your back for thread the needle. I'm instructing pigeon today. Hips are square forward, heart squares forward, hands by your sides. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, begin to hinge forward, bow in towards your leg. Come onto your forearms, relax your head and neck. Your left hip will square down towards your right heel. Relax your head and neck, get a little bit more relaxed through the torso with every breath. Good, stay with that breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe return back to the intention made at the beginning of class. On your next inhale, let's begin to walk those hands back up towards your hips. Tuck your back toes. Lift your right leg all the way up to the sky through three-legged dog. This time you can open your hip out. Keep your right knee reaching up high. Feel a nice expansion through the inner thigh and that right hip. And exhale that right foot down to meet the left. Downward dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, hug your left knee towards your chest. Place your left foot to the top of your mat. Keep your back knee lifted. Right hand down on the earth. Left arm to the sky, twist open. Stack your shoulders. Pull your heart close towards that left knee so you really feel a nice decompression in the low back and length through that outer left hip. Big breath in, open out. As you exhale, lower your left hand down. Heel toe your left foot to the outside of your mat. Keep your back knee lifted. Hands are right underneath your shoulders. Inhale, expand your heart forward. So you can stay right here. Maybe you take a block to get lower onto your forearms. Maybe you come all the way down onto your forearms or a variation of it. Take this pose to your degree. Let your hip open and keep that back leg active, strong and straight as you press back through that right heel. Let your left knee open out. One more big breath here. And exhale, let that right knee lower. Heel toe your left foot to the center of your mat. Come into a low lunge, square your hips, and then shift your hips back. Flex your left foot. Keep your hips in line with one another as you hinge forward over your left leg to your degree into half splits. Relax your head and neck, flex that left foot, lengthen your spine towards your toes. Stay with this. Few more breaths. Remember, you can always have variations with blocks if you chose to do so on the other side. You should feel a nice decompression in the low back and lengthening through the hamstring. Good. Next, inhale breath. Lengthen your heart towards your toes. Right hand stays underneath your right shoulder. Left hand to the sky. Keep your hips square. Left hip presses down in line with the right. So you should feel a deep stretch through that outer left hip. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Gently lower your left hand down to the earth. Shift forward into a low lunge, setting up for pigeon pose. Heel toe your left foot over to your right wrist. Let your left knee lower to your left wrist. Right leg, extend it far back behind you. So your left heel can come close to that right hip. That makes it a little bit easier to square your hips out. Lift through your heart, inhale. And exhale, maybe you bow forward onto your forearms. Maybe you come all the way down, stretching your arms forward. Remember, you can always take a variation of reclined pigeon on your back as well. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Use this time to focus on your breath, on your intention. Notice if there's any chit-chat still going on in the brain, and it's fine if there is, but just acknowledge it and begin to let it go. Take another full breath. Release it out. Begin to crawl your hands back up on your next inhale. Tuck your right toes behind you. Lift your left leg all the way up to the sky through downward dog and begin to bend your left knee. Let your hips open out. Get a nice opening through that left hip and inner thigh. Good, and then just release that left foot back down to meet the right. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. Begin to release your knees down to the earth. Sit back onto your heels. Shift your hips to either side. And we're going to come into fire logs or full pigeon. Double pigeon rather. So you want to take your left foot underneath like so. Your shin is parallel to the top of your mat. Take your right ankle to the top of your left knee. So you can be right here. If this right knee is lifted way up, that's perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that your shins are stacking one on top of the other. I'll turn so that you can see that properly. Good. Both feet are flexed. If you have a block, you can even place it down underneath your right knee to give a little bit more support. If you want more here, take your right palm, place it on the inside of your right thigh. Press down so that your shins stack like fire logs, one on top of the other. Lift through your heart, close your eyes, keep those feet flexed. This can be a pretty intense pose through the hips, so be gentle with yourself. Close your eyes. Inhale in through the nose and out through the nose. Good. Slowly make your way out of this. Shift your weight back in towards your hips. Take your right foot off of the left knee and we'll switch sides. So you can even take your legs out long and kind of shake them out if you need to release through the legs and the knees. And we'll switch sides. So that right leg comes parallel to the top of your mat. Flex your right foot. Left ankle comes to the top of your right knee. Make sure your sits bones are grounded down. Your shins are stacking one on top of the next. And it's okay if your left knee is lifted up high. You'll still feel a stretch through that outer hip. If you want more here, left hand, place it down on the inner left thigh. Begin to press the knee down and create fire logs with your shins. Close your eyes here, wherever you are. This is a deep hip stretch. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Sit in this pose, last full breath. Now take your time, slowly shift your weight back into your hips. You can even take your hands back to support you as you take your left foot out from underneath you. Your right foot extends long. Legs extend out in front of you and just shake them out. Maybe even give yourself a nice little massage around the knees and the quads. Flex your feet. Take an inhale, reach your arms up high. Exhale, hinge forward over your legs. Relax your head and neck towards your shins. Fold in, forward, fold. So you want to lead through your heart towards your toes. Press your hips in towards the earth. Engage your legs. So you can always be holding on to your shins, maybe your thighs, maybe ankles. Maybe you're all the way at your feet. If you are all the way at your feet and you do have a block, another option here is to take your block to your feet and give yourself a little bit more extension to get a deeper stretch, depending on where you are in your practice. If that's not you today, maybe it's you tomorrow or next week, who knows? Just relax in for another breath, surrender to the legs. Now as you inhale, begin to unravel your spine, come all the way up. Hands by your sides, scoot your hips forward, bend your knees, reach your arms out, and begin to roll down onto your spine. Hug your knees towards your chest, and extend your legs up to the sky. So you can stay right here in a simple inversion. I am going to instruct shoulder stance. So if you do practice shoulder stance regularly and there's nothing going on in your head or neck, you can follow my instruction. Otherwise, legs stay reaching up the wall or up to the sky. So take your hands by your sides, palms face down. Begin to lift your legs and kick them up and over the crown of your head. Take your hands to support your low back. Elbows point towards one another so that they're parallel to the earth. Begin to lift your ankles up over your hips. Gaze only at your toes all the way up towards the sky. So you do not want to turn your head or neck in this posture. You want to maintain the integrity of the cervical spine. So this is called shoulder stance because you are literally on your shoulders. You should feel no pressure in the neck if you do come out of the posture. Otherwise, feel your hips begin to stack over your shoulders, your ankles over your hips. Maybe you roll your ankles out, spread your toes wide. Maybe you circle your legs around, find a nice little movement variation. Totally up to you and your practice. Take one more breath here, deep into your belly. Take your time, let your toes drop back overhead through plow pose. Begin to use your hands as brakes on your hips as you lower your spine down to the earth. Take your knees in towards your chest, give them a squeeze. Rock side to side. We're going to come into our final twist of the class. So extend your left leg long out in front of you. Hug your right knee in. Take your right knee over to the left. Right arm out to the right. Twist your spine. Keep your shoulders down on the earth. Good. Stay with your breath. Inhale back through center. Take your knees in towards your chest. Extend your right leg long. Hug your left knee deep in towards your heart space. And then take that left knee over to the right. Left arm out to the left. Keep your shoulders down on the earth as you twist your spine. Gaze to the left. Deep breath into your belly. One more round here. Inhale back through center. Give yourself one big final squeeze. Forehead might even come up towards your knees. Engage all of your muscles. Big breath in. And exhale, let it go. Let yourself find a comfortable pose in your Shavasana. Take your shoulders up underneath your back. Let your toes drop out gently.
I want to live in an uptown. I like to see the boats leaving at the break of dawn.
Keep your eyes closed and just feel a nice melting sensation through the body.
Surrounded by the sea, my heart is free. The salty breeze.
If you are ready to move about with your day, feel free to begin some gentle movement in your toes, in your fingers. Maybe reach your arms up and overhead and give yourself a nice long stretch head to toe like you just woke up for the first time today. As you're ready, you can roll off to either side, coming into a fetal position, or simply roll up into an easy seat and meet me in Sukhasana, half lotus or full lotus, legs crossed, eyes closed. Once you've met me in an easy seat, let's inhale, our arms reach high. Exhale, hands come to heart center, bow your chin. Take a moment to reflect on the intention made at the beginning of class. Bring to mind what you are grateful for in this moment. Honoring the light that dwells within each and every one of us. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing this morning with me. If you would like to catch up on my other lives, please feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to like and comment on any of these videos. You can also find me at Katie Marie Yoga on Instagram as well. Thank you so much. Aloha and enjoy the rest of your day.